Every time we come to Bates, something important happens choreographically.
The festival has always been very committed to supporting artists making work and supporting artists that are at all different levels in their career. Sometimes we are able to offer time and space, sometimes we actually are able to offer commissioning fees, and many artists we have long-term relationships with, like Doug Varone. This is the 6th extended creative residency he's done at Bates since 1992. And his company is spending every afternoon for 4 or 5 hours developing this new work, Chapters from a Broken Novel.
Well, Chapters from a Broken Novel, which is the work that we've been creating here to fruition at the Bates Festival, began about a year ago in earnest in the studio. And I'm always looking for reasons to create dances. And I realized that I had been collecting many different quotations over the course of many years and placing them in a book. Some of them were scribbled down, some of them were fortune cookies, drawn from essays, drawn from novels, things that really struck me as ideas about life, and began creating small chapters, as I would call them, based on them, based on the quotations. And over the course of time, we accumulated about 22 of them. And they sit in the form of a book, in a way, where each chapter unfolds into the next and has the potential to tell a story about life. Yeah, so while we've been here at Bates, the piece has been put together for the first time and shown for the first time in its entirety, and that has been terrific. I always used to think of dance making as steps that are used to move us forward, and I've learned that it's very much about the circular action of narrative for me, even in abstract work. The unique thing about Chapters from a Broken Novel is that it has a modular sense. In other words, we've got 22 different chapters, and they can live together as a whole, or they can live in parts. And because each one tells an individual story, together in a certain form, they tell one story. But if they're broken up, and I use this one, and I use this one, and I use this one, and this one, and I place them together, they tell a completely different story. And the piece was specifically defined to do that, because I wanted the variable to create many different worlds.
You know, how fortunate we are that someone like him wants to be here, wants to share his process with our community of dancers. He teaches generally a rep course while he's here, which means he builds a new work on the students, with the students. He teaches composition, and his company teaches technique. So we're very honored.
Actually really interesting to get his behind the scenes take and how he builds his group work is the same devices that we're using in class. It's like inside the mind of a genius, and I feel so privileged to like sit here and watch it.
It feels funny to say it's something magical about the place, but I think that people talk about it that way. You know, there's the environment that's set up, that Laura has put forth as a philosophy. It lives in the students, it lives in the teachers, it lives in the buildings, it lives in every aspect of the evening activities. That there is a quality of how we work and how we learn that is rarely found other places. And that is infused into the creative work that we do.